All right. All right. Welcome back, all my fine aviation enthusiast friends. Welcome back to the airplane show. The best damn airplane show you're going to see on this Saturday morning. I guarantee it. Yes, sir. I got to be just a little quiet because I got one of my kids sleeping right next door. So I'm not going to be as loud as I could be. But yeah, we're gonna do this here flight this morning from Denver Airport. Let's see what we got working right here. So we got American Airlines flight 2771 from Denver to Chicago, non-stop service, and Eons, Wyndham, OBH, FOD, MERS, and Fiat. So let's go ahead and recreate this mother chumper on Simbriefs. If this is your first time here or you are returning, welcome. I appreciate y'all stopping by and checking out this here video today. If you caught the video last night, that was a pretty amazing flight from one side of Japan to the other. Obviously, there's multiple islands of Japan. I'm aware of that, but we flew from the side of one side to the other side of one of the big islands. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and click on this here. Let's do American Airlines, so AAL 2771. We got KDEN and we got Cord. And we got 737-800. Let's see if it calculates the same route that we use. The Egon, Wyndham, OBH, FOD, MERS, and Fiat. Yep, it looks exactly the same. Let's see what the calculated altitudes is. Planned is 37,000. All right, and it's gate C38. All right, so let's click generate flight. Let's generate this flight. All right, it's got 37,000 feet also. Very good. So we can close out this. And let's see what our approach is going to be, and then we'll get into the simulator and get going. Here's the flight from last night, still sitting there in Navigraph. Let's click import from Simbrief, KDEN to Cord. And let's see what kind of landing we're gonna do. My guess, being O'Hare, it's probably gonna be an RNAV landing, which is fine with me because this 737 does RNAV landings real good. They do them real nice in this 737. No, we got a couple of choices actually. Let's see what the RNAV final is. I really doubt the plane's gonna go all the way out there. My guess is that it's gonna just do a loop. Well, let's see what this RNAV landing looks like. Let's look at the chart. So we got 8,000, 1,000, and then when we're about 4 or 5 miles out from the airport, then we do it ourselves. Does it have the RNP listed? I don't think it has the RNP listed. It's probably 0.3 For uncompensated bearer, okay, LNAV not authorized below 19 degrees Celsius, okay, that's fine. LNAV procedure not authorized during simultaneous operations, okay. During VSG angle 3, touchdown is 78 feet. All right, let's, okay, so we got that one. Let's look at the ILS. Oh, excuse me. I'll tell you what, let's set up for the RNAV landing today, and then if, you know, we need to change it to ILS, we'll change it to the ILS, but let's set up for the RNAV landing. And I believe it's going to be final. Yeah, I really doubt that it's going to go all the way out to here. I mean, that would be crazy, right? I don't really see too many planes doing that. Of course, if you're doing this, you need to follow the course. So bash. Let me do this. Let's click on this one here so it overlays it. See, we don't have a whole lot of. So if we make that turn, well, we could pick up Joba and be at 8,000. Yeah, let's do the RNAV. And if we need to change it mid-flight, we can always change it mid-flight. But let's not spend too much time on this right now. Let's get into the plane. We can always change this later. All right, and that's good. We can unload this now. And we are at gate C38. So let's go ahead and bring up our actual. Let's see here. We got this. We can get rid of this now. All right. So we got this here. And what did we say? C38. All right. So let's go to profile. Let's go to hangar. Here's our plane from last night. That was a lot of fun to fly that plane, that's for sure. All right, there's 737s up here somewhere. All right, let's let this load in, then we get the livery. Pegasus, American Airlines, 2016, One World. Oh yeah, I don't want the One World one. We used that one last time. United, I think this is the one. Yep. All right, so we got that. And let's go to world map. And let's go to Denver. All right, C38. Is it 38 or 28? Give me a second. Let me double check which one this one was. I think it was C. Yeah, C38. All right, so let's go to C38. Set that for departure. And we're taking off from runway 8, which is 25, 7, 38. Oh, probably right here. Okay, runway 8. So what we got to do is, doesn't really matter which side we back out. We'll try to back out with our nose pointed this direction here, come out, and then go up. All right, easy enough. Let's get into this here airplane. Hope everybody is enjoying their early Saturday morning. Get your cup of char, your cup of joe, and come sit down and watch me ramble on for the next couple hours. And this plane actually is in the air right now. It just took off about 20 minutes ago. I didn't want to match it specifically because I wanted to try to have a little bit of daylight, maybe by the time we took off. All right. Sure. Let's go down here. And we got to click on, and where's menu? All right, let's get menu going. All right, let's get menu going. Let's get actions. We should have the service truck here already. Yep, for ground power. Okay. So let's get some power going so we can get some lights inside this cabin here. All right, here's the battery switch. Where's the cover at? And ground power. And let's see here, panel lights. Much better. All right, we got those lights going. Let's go back here. Let's just put a touch of floodlights on. Let's turn our panel up. Let's come over here. Oh yeah, it's over here, that's right. All right, main panel. Background, we'll just turn them on just a little bit and add a little bit of floodlights. And main panel for you. All right, very good, now we're good. All right. I wonder why these screens haven't popped on yet. That's kind of strange, right? I hope it's not an issue with this airport. I had an issue with screens not showing up at this airport yesterday. Oh, there we go. Okay, very good. Yeah, I had an issue with a couple of planes yesterday where the lights weren't showing up at all. I'm sorry, the screens weren't coming on at all. It was crazy. All right, let's open up this OFP here. And let's see what we can see. So I'm actually going to do like the full thing that I'm going to have the jetway come out and all that. So let's go ahead and the jetway is inhibited because we have the stairs installed. Okay, so let's release the stairs. Let's make the entry the jetway. Let's go back. We're going to request, and we need to open the door. All right, here we go, very good. And let's come back here and let's, how much fuel are we going to be using on this flight? 79. All right, so let's set it. Let's put 5,000 there for now, because we're going to set it on the other page. Set that and go to doors, go to payload. Let's empty the whole thing. All right, let me get my mouse out here. Say mouse. The mouse is much easier. So with the controller, you have to double click every time when using this FMC. But when you're using the mouse, you can just click it once and it's fine. Where'd my mouse go? Where is my mouse? There it is. Mouse was hiding. All right, let's come here. Let's go next. So our target fuel is going to be 79.72. So let's just put in 8,000. Let's request the fuel truck. Our passenger load this morning is 120. All right, we can start loading passengers. And our cargo is 3, so we're going to do 1,000 up front here. And 2,000 in the back. All right, very good. Fuel truck is attaching. Once it turns green here, we can start. All right, now we're going to start fueling. Once all these connect, then we can go ahead and start that as well. Let's come over here. Let's align the satellite dishes. The satellite dishes. So we're going to come up here, all the way back here. Let's go to heading. And let's turn this one to nav and this one to nav as well. Let's put on our anti-collision lights and our logo lights. And let's pose in it. Let's go to page 2. Let's grab these coordinates. This page here and this page here. And then let's see here, we got KDEN. And we got C38. Let's see if it lets us put the gate in. Sometimes it does. Yep, not in databases. Okay, no problem. All right. So we can start loading here. It'd be kind of cool if they actually simulated the bags or cargo actually going on the ramps, but, you know, maybe it was too difficult for them to do that. All right, so we should be all set with loading everything now. So it's fueling, passengers are boarding, and that's good. Okay, let's set our flight plan while that's all working. So let's go to route here. Let me get my mouse out again. And actually, let me go back a little bit. There we go. All right, so we got kden. Oh, that's already in there. All right, kden to kord. All right, we got AAL 2771, which is a real flight that's in the air right now headed to Chicago. Let's go to departure. All right, we got, let me open up this flight plan page here. So it's runway 8. And we are doing EEONS 8. So EEONS 8. No transition, that's okay. Let's go to route. Let's go to the next page. And let's see what it says on here. So we go to, all right, we got Wyndham there. Then we go direct to OBH. So OBH. Put that over here. If you were entering in an airway, you would put it over here on this VIA side. Since we're flying direct, we just put the waypoint over here. All right, then direct to FOD. All right, and then Myers, and I believe that's our transition. It is. So let's store this right now. We can activate this part. Now let's go back. Let's do our arrival. We're doing RNAV 2Z 27 left. But you know what? Let's do the ILS landing. Fuck it. Let me just change it real quick. I've been thinking about it. It'll probably be, that's a tough go when you do that U-turn, and I mean, maybe we'll change it again, but let's just stick with the ILS for now. So ILS 27 left. All right, that's 27 right. All right, where's 27 left? Did I miss it? 22 left. $27 right. That's 22 right. 28 left. All right, well, let's just do this then. Okay. And then we're doing Fiat and Myers. So it looks like we are doing the RNAV landing, which is fine. And we have Myers is our transition. All right, let's activate all that. Let's go to legs. And we are going right from Myers to FOD, so let's click on Myers. Let's click on this. While we're flying, we'll figure out the ILS deal or not. Okay, this is all good here. Let's check this out over here. Okay, fuel is done. We can click release. The passengers are done. All right, so this is done and this is done. All right, let's go to here and let's type in our forecast for our descent. And we are up 37,000 feet for our cruising altitude. So for our descent winds, let's start at 31,000 feet. So let's type in 310. All right, we got 31,000. That's 259.62. And we got 20,000 feet. That is 265.51. The tablet that's coming for this airplane that's out right now on PC, it's not available on Xbox yet. They're still, from what I understand, beta testing the little tablet for this plane. So currently we just have this FMC to use, which is okay with me. This thing works really well. It is the most functional FMC I've used in any plane ever on the simulator, so it's perfectly fine with me. All right, so that's all good. Let's go to menu here. Let's go back to FMC. And what I would like to do now is I just want to look at our flight plan. We can turn the mouse off. Let's come up here. Let's click this knob here. Go to flight plan. And let's click on step. Make sure it looks all good. Yeah, we do need to get rid of that vector though, but other than that, it looks okay. So let's go to bash here. And let's get rid of that vector. What's the vector, Victor? All right. That's a great movie, by the way. If you haven't seen that movie Airplane before, that movie Airplane is one of the best, the funniest movies ever. All right, let's turn on our seatbelt signs. We can arm our our emergency lights. Let's set the yaw dampener. All right, let's go ahead and let's go here. Let's release the jetway. So we are almost ready to push back and do all that. So we are just about ready to go. Let's make sure this goes back. All right, jetway is done smooching on the airplane. All right, let's close the door. All right, now let's go ahead and set our weight. So we're going to request. And momentarily it will give us a load option over here. Go load. And let's save. There we go. Now what we're going to do here is our cost index is actually 23. It's defaulted for 18, so it's always going to populate that unless I go in the back and change it. Yeah, that's okay. And our flight plan fuel is Oh, actually, our block of fuel is higher than this. Shit. Give me a second. Let me fix that. It's actually like 8,300. So if you want to change the cargo, passengers, or fuel, you can just go into these main pages and just set it here. All right, let's request this again. All right, let's click load. All right, let's type in 23 again. It won't let us put it in yet. We gotta accept this first. All right, let's put in 23, and then our flight plan is 79.72, so we can put in 7.9. 7.9. All right, we can hit this here. Our cruise winds 260 by 60. All right, that's good. That error message we're getting about the speed, we'll check that out momentarily. Let's finish setting up the airplane first. So let's go to N1. Oops. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Wrong button, Greg. All right, let's set this for, let's just say 48. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I usually do 30 over. It's showing 0 out right now, so let's just do 30. All right, let's do takeoff number 1. Do climb number 1. Go to takeoff. Let's enter in the runway information. So let's go back to the main page here. Let's click on the 3 little dots next to the runway on Navigraph. All right, so our slope is minus 0.5. So let's plug that in. So we got minus 0.5 is our slope. Yep, heading of 83. And let's see what our cruise winds are. I mean, our runway wind is 209 knots. So let's type that in. So 209. All right, that's done there. Now we can go back a screen. And now we can put in, let's say, flaps 5 and see what our V speeds are. Yeah, that looks all right. Let's try flaps 10 and see if it changes. I don't really think it'll change anything. No, we'll do flaps 10 today. We're kind of heavy, I guess, right? All right, that's all done. So we are pretty much all set up for our takeoff here. KORD. Let's set this fix here for 25 miles. And then let's take a look at our flight plan real quick and see why it's saying we can't get to that speed. I'm not really worried about it, but let's at least see why it's saying that. All right, we got climb. Oh yeah, we got to set our cruising altitude here. So we have FL 370. Maybe that's why it can't get to that speed. Let's try fixing the obvious first. Okay, we got climb, we got cruise, we got descent, we got the forecast in there. All right, now let's see what it's saying here. Intercept. It's a royal. I like to actually get rid of that intercept here. Let's. I think sometimes those things cause issues with flight plans when it's like vectors and. Yeah, see, now everything's kind of populated properly. All right, 265. Oh, well, let's change that then. Oh, you know, we'll change it in the air. We're okay right now. All right, let's turn on the APU and get ready to get out of here. So let's put on this fuel tank here. Let's pop on the APU. I love American Airlines too, my man. Or my dude. Me too. I love all airplanes pretty much. I think every airplane is pretty cool looking. I'm still amazed that they can fly. Like, you wouldn't think something that big, bulky, and heavy could, you know, get off the ground and sail through the air the way it does, but they do it, that's for sure. All right, turning off the VORs, we don't really need them. Let's click data. Let's click data. All right, we're ready to apply the APU generators. And let's click the APU here. Bleed air is on. Let's set our cruising altitude for 37,000 feet. And our height for our destination today is, looks like we're about 680, so let's type in 700 here. All right, very good. So we are all set there. All right, let's make sure our parking brake is on. We're getting ready to remove the chocks. So let's disconnect our ground power. Let's remove our chocks. Let's connect our pushback machine. And we are going to go nose to the right. I believe that is correct. Let's turn on these hydraulic pumps. Let's turn the probe heats on. Let's set the isolation valves to auto. And let's set the packs to auto as well. All right, and let's back up. Actually, let's turn our flight directors on real quick. All right, let's a go. Let's click start.
Cockpit to ground. push back and start. They want the tail to our left. Roger that. Ready to push. Tail to the left. Park brakes off. Brakes released.
Once I confirm that we're going the right direction, I'll start one of the engines up. Now we can go ahead and turn on these other fuel pumps. I don't know if we have fuel in the center tank today or not. Nah, not really. Not enough to really worry about anything. See, we're going to be taking off right when the sun's coming up. That's kind of what I was hoping for. All right, we're going to be going the right direction. Let's fire up the first engine. Oh, got to close the... Hold on. All right, there we go. I figured if the packs were on auto, it would be okay, but obviously not so much. All right, parking brake is back on. See you, buddy. Thanks for your help. All right, let's click stop.
Roger that. Ready to push. Tail to the left. Park brakes off.
All right, let's go to menu here. Let's go to FMC, and I want to actually have our V speeds up here because it's gonna ask us to confirm these here again pretty soon. At least I'm pretty sure it will. That's usually what it does. All right, that engine's on. Let's actually set some more lights now that it is dark outside. Let's turn on this generator. All right, let's go back here, put the fuel on. While we're back here, let's turn on our traffic. And transponder, RT. Weather here, it's not modeled in this airplane, so there's really no reason to mess with it. All right, we got a V2 is 142. We'll add 15 to that, so we'll do 157. And our first altitude is below 10,000 feet. So let's set 10,000 feet. We got 10,000 feet already. All right, we are good, my friends. The engines are running. Let's go ahead and turn on that generator. Now we can set our packs to auto. We can set the isolation valve to auto. We can turn off the bleed for the APU, and we can now shut off the APU. Let's put our taxi lights on. we are all set for this. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, we gotta lower our flaps. What did I do? 10, I think. Yeah, flaps 10 today. All right, and we need to set our barometer as well. Hang on a second. I'll do that here momentarily. Let me find out what the barometer is for Denver today. So that is 3011. So let's set the barometer. All right, that is all set. And is there any kind of, let me look at the departure chart. Once they get the tablet installed on this, we'll be able to look at it together. Warning, accelerating, yeah, we know about the 250 rule. All right, Royal, no, just 10,000. I don't see any other minimum heights or constraints or anything. Auto throttle. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's release the parking brake. Let me bring up the chart for the airport so I know where we're going. Sometimes you hit the release for the parking brake and it just does not release. I love this airport, by the way. I've been to this airport a few times. Most recently was like 10 years ago when I was working for Audi. We had to go out there and we went out and we were test driving some new Audis that they were getting ready to launch to the market. And we were hanging out at the, I think it's called Mile High Stadium still. It's where the Denver Broncos play. We were able to tour the facility. We were able to kind of get really close to going onto the field, and it was a really cool trip. Denver's a really cool city. But I haven't been there in a minute. But there's a lot of mysterious lore around this airport. If you're not familiar with the Denver airport, look up like the Illuminati and Mason's Club and all that, and some of the imagery that's shown throughout the airport is kind of demonic and has a kind of an interesting story behind it. And then there's also talks of like how there's underground bunkers at this airport as well. Some very interesting lore here. All right, what number is this here? So I can match it up with our airport chart here. So it says C5. Okay, very good. That looks like a wall there, but it is a wall. Jesus Christ, I hope we don't crash into it. Who the fuck puts a wall right there? Who the hell puts a wall right there? Maybe it's for this road for the cars, maybe. That's absolutely nuts. Put a road right there. Jesus. All right, M1. All right, we're good. Let's go ahead and make this turn here. And we can just take this right up to runway 8. That's crazy as hell, that wall there. I thought I saw a little bit of a wall, so what the hell is that? Yep, we can just take this straight on up to our runway. Let's match our bearing with our departure. Let's lower our heads-up display, and we're going to be changing the parameters of this heads-up display for our landing. Regardless of it being an ILS or RNAV, we're still going to change the values of what shows up here. Like, so most of this stuff on the sides is not going to be there. It's going to be more set up to be kind of simple looking and really let us see much better and just give us the pertinent information that we need. So we slowed my roll a little bit. Did you see us do that dip? A dip like that made me crash the Antab the other morning. All right, we got runway 8 coming up here. Yeah, the Antab, I was rolling on takeoff and everything was going good, and all of a sudden it hit this bump in the runway that, like, nothing showed up in the runway. It was completely flat like they normally look, and it crashed the Antab, and I was like, man, I just spent like 45 minutes setting up this damn airplane. I didn't even try it again after that. I just turned off the simulator. I cussed the hell out of Microsoft and put on Forza Motorsport for a little bit and raced some cars around the track for a while. All right, we're coming up to the holding point. Would have been nice to take off a little bit darker, but it's all good. I could have started this flight more in time with the actual flight, but it's all good. I had some stuff to do this morning. All right, we set the parking brake for a second. Let's put on our landing lights. If you click the landing icon, it puts both lights on at the same time. All right, let's put these on continuous relight. And everything is set. We are good. Let's arm auto throttle, LNAV, and VNAV are not going to arm just yet. Okay, whatever. They'll arm when they're ready, I guess. Hey, we got to set our parking brake, by the way. I mean, the auto brake to RTO. Jesus Christ, we're going fast. Jesus Christ. I wasn't paying attention. Why is it not turning? Oh, I was on that button, that's why. Alright, LNAV is still not showing up for some reason. No worries, let's go take off anyways. Ready? Let's give it some juice. Let's click our toga screw. Let's try LNAV again.
Airspeed's alive.
LNAV's still not working. It's very strange.
80 knots.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rate of climb. Bank angle.
All right, positive rate, gear up. All right, we can put the first flaps up. All right, let's click autopilot. All right, now LNAV will go in. We can put our flaps up again. Let's lock the parking brake, the landing gear. Let's turn off the auto brake. All right, let's put our flaps up. And let's put them up all the way. And we are golden. What the hell I got an alarm going off for? What the hell have I got an alarm going off for on a Saturday morning? That shit is crazy. So we need to be at... Oh, we can go up to 12,000 feet now. All right. There we go. Actually, let's set it for 10,000. I thought we were farther away from... I thought we were closer to that... This waypoint here, the Royal Waypoint, I thought we were closer to that, so... Alright, we will set that. Let's go ahead and turn off our lights. And we can turn off these lights here. Let's let the flight attendants know that we're at 10,000 feet. All right, we crossed Royal. We can now go to 12,000 feet. So let's dial in 12,000. And then let's push VNAV once and twice. So what I did was I disarmed VNAV and then armed it again, and that'll put the system back in VNAV mode, so it'll climb to 12,000 feet. Look at that sun coming up. There we go. We are on our way to Chicagoland. All right. And once we cross Shobo, then we can increase our altitude from there on out. There's no more constraints. So I'm just going to plug in 37,000 once we cross our next waypoint. Then once we get to our cruising altitude, we're going to figure out this landing deal. you know, why the ILS isn't showing up. If we need to do the RNAV landing, we'll do it. It's no big deal. I prefer to do the ILS landing, but if we can't do it, we can't do it. It's all good. All right, let's dial in 37,000. And let's go ahead and click on VNav and then VNav again. Now there might be a different way to do, you know, to re-engage the climb. I don't know how to, I don't know that method. I use this method and it seems to work for me. I don't know the other method where, you know, it'll start the climb back again. I guess you could do level change and then click VNav again, but it works pretty well for me, just clicking VNav and then clicking it again. So now when we get to 18,000 feet, I'm going to use the mouse to click on this standard icon. For some reason, when I use the controller to click on it, even if I'm not pushing the button anymore, it continually tries to push that standard button, and it really messes up the altitude of the airplane, because it's switching from, like, it'll switch from this to standard continually, like rapid motion. All right, let's put you away. Let me get the mouse up. Maybe one day I'll grow up and learn how to use the keyboard and mouse for the simulator, but for now, certainly using the controller, the Xbox controller, works pretty well for me. All right, we're crossing 18,000 feet. That's our transition altitude. Let's click standard. And that changes it for all three barometers in the airplane, because we have the pilot, co-pilot side, and then we also have this one right here. All right, top of climb, we have 92 miles to the top of our climb. Alrighty, so we're pretty much all set for our climb to 37,000 feet. Barely any clouds in the sky today. This super cold flight. Oh yeah, what is the outside temperature, by the way? Oh yeah, we're in icing range. Let's put on some anti-ice. We'll turn that off as we get closer to the top of our climb. We'll turn all that off. Actually, a few more degrees, we can turn it off. So we'll probably turn it off here. Maybe another 10,000 feet, probably. Now, I don't know why when we were trying to load up the flight, why it would not give me the ILS for 27 left. It kept on trying to give me 28, which, I mean, I guess we could do that. I mean, they're right next to each other, those runways. We got 27 left. And then we have 27 center we can do. Or 28 right. I wonder which runways are being used for arrivals this morning. Let's see here. Yeah, 27 right, 27 left, and 28 center are being used for arrivals today. I really like how Navigraph shows, it tells you which ones are which. You know, I'm sorry, Navigraph shows you which runways are being used for takeoffs or arrivals. So I really like that. That's pretty cool. All right, 28C, 27 left, or 27 right. But we don't want 27 right. So we're going to either do 27 center or 27 left. Let's actually look at that now. Just weird how it doesn't show it. Well, I guess we can do 27 center. Wonder how long of a runway that is. That should be good. Oh yeah, it's like the same length. Yeah, they're the same length. Fayette and Meyer. All right, let's execute that. Now let's go to our legs and fix any discontinuities. Insufficient fuel. All right, we need to do some doctrine of the flight plan. All right, so we got Fayette, motor, cogs, Giorgio, monks, all right, we got Maddie, Solu, Let me change our runway here to 27 center. I see why it's saying all that. Okay. So Ukun is the entry point. Oh, never mind. That's after we... okay. Jumbo is our capture point. Oh, I see why now. So we're gonna fly down past the airport and then go down and around. Okay, that's cool with me. All right, let's add a little bit of fuel then. Since we didn't know this up front, let's add a little bit of fuel. Let's go to menu. But you know what, that's gonna mess with our whole plan and the weight of the airplane. Let's just do the RNAV landing. Yeah, let's just stick with the plan. I don't want to adjust the weights and all that while we're flying. Let's stick with the original plan. All right, RNAV Z27 left. Fayette. And it was Myers. I may create a waypoint, which I'll show you how to do, but all right, let's go to legs. All right, let's change back to the RNAV landing on here so we can get the right landing. When I say on here, I'm talking about the Navigraph. All right, where's RNAV 27 left? All right, so we got Solu. All right, Fayette, Vulcan, Pmdg, Benner, E-Benz. Whoa, there is a lot of extra waypoints. Jesus Christ. Wowee. All right, so this is what we're gonna do here. Let's click on E-Benz. And now let's click on no wonder it's saying we don't have enough fuel. Motor, Solu. All right, Myers say Maddie, Vulcan, Himgo. All right, let's go forward here and click on Myers here. Okay, I think we just fixed it. All right, so here's where we're at right now. Pretty much at the top of our climb. We'll just set these to auto. And we can set these to flight. All right, let's look at our flight plan now. All right, let's see here. Chapman, Cosby, Fayette, Motor. I don't see Motor. Oh, there's Motor. Okay, Cogs. Maddie. Solu, Kirk, Vulcan, Pmdg, that's all correct. And then right to bash events. Alright, so there's a waypoint before E-bends that we're supposed to catch, and I don't know exactly how many miles it is. Let me see if I can add this waypoint. I don't know if I can add it actually. Oh, you know, I can open up the runway chart. Oh, that should tell me how many miles. All right, bash the E-bends is 3.1 miles. So let's create a waypoint. Ready? Here's how you do it. So we're going to click on E-bends, and we're going to type in the opposite of this 274 number. So that would be 94. You know, it's a 180-degree difference. So we'll do 94 slash, and then put in the miles that we want. So we're going to want 3 miles because that's what shows on the chart. There's a 3.1 mile difference from E-bends to bash. So we're going to do that, and then let's click on E-bends. Why wouldn't it let me do it? Hang on, maybe because I'm in plan mode. Let's switch this to map. And now let's see if it does it. Sorry about that. I disconnected the autopilot by accident for a second. All right, now let's click on E-bends and see if it'll do it. It always did it before. Wonder why it's not, well, let's try it again. Click on E-bends. Put in the opposite of the 274. And slash how many miles we want. Don't know why it's not doing it today. That's usually how you would set up an extra waypoint. Maybe I can't do it on this FMC. All right, let's click on, let's leave this one here. And let's try doing it on this one here. All right, so E-bends. Unless it won't do it because of an RNAV landing, maybe you can only do it for ILS landings, maybe, I don't know. But I've done it before, this exact same way, but it's been on ILS landings. It's never been on waypoints that are associated with RNAV landings. Yep. All right. Well, whatever. Well, when you're doing an ILS landing, if you want to create an extra waypoint, that's what you would do. You would click on. You want to click on the waypoint you want to go off of. Type in the opposite course, and then slash the miles that you are looking to have. But oh well, I don't know why it's not working today. I've done it in other videos on the 737. You can check them out. It definitely works. I just don't know why it's not working right now. All right, let's Tile this out. How far away to the top of descent are we? 400 and some miles. All right, we'll let it go a little bit before we increase our sim rate. Very strange. I don't know why we couldn't create a new waypoint. But if you're doing an ILS landing, try that. It does work. But maybe because it's an RNAV, maybe because it's a waypoint for an RNAV landing, maybe it's not going to allow you to do that. Now, is there a localizer at this airport? Because if there is, we can do a certain type of... Oh, there is. So since there's a... I don't know if that's really at the airport, though. No, the VOR station is at the airport. Okay. Since there's a VOR station at the airport, we can actually do a kind of a certain type of RNAV landing where it's very similar to an ILS landing. So when we do ILS landings, you know, on the screen here, it'll show like LOC under here, and then GS for glide slope. When you do it on an RNAV landing, it'll say FAC here, and it'll say GP for glide path, but it's very similar. So while we're not doing much right now, let's set up our heads-up display for our landing. So we're gonna just click mode once. This IMC and VMC, that's visual mode. IMC is like ILS mode, so this will set the heads-up display to be very good for landings. And now let's set up our runway information. So let's go ahead and click on the runway information. Let's type in our elevation first, which is EL, so we got 650. We're gonna hit enter, and then click runway again. Now we have length, it's 11,260. 260. All right, and now that we have this set for the runway, the reticle for the heads-up display will now be right pretty much smack dab in the middle of the touchdown zone. Okay, let's pop this heads-up display down now, and so you can see it looks way different than it did when we took off. So since we changed the modes, it got rid of all the clutter on the sides. This reticle will now show up pretty much right in the middle of the touchdown zone because we plugged in the dimensions and the height of the runway. And this will have all the info you need for landing. I mean, it's a very, very good display for landing when you switch modes like that. All right. Let's go ahead and speed this sim up a little bit. So what we got to do is, I want to do this here. Let's click on descent. Or am I going to do program? Let's do program because it's easier to see from the side here. So I've only been able to get a mouse to work doing this. For some reason the controller just does not click the spot that it needs to activate the, so this 737 has a feature where you can speed up the sim. You can turn it on in the settings. However, you need to click the very top of this button here, and using like the Xbox controller, it doesn't work. Or even if you're using a PlayStation controller, it doesn't work. So let's click on that, and as you can see, this is now green, which means we are in sped up time. So momentarily, our mileage start really clicking down here. This fast forward feature works extremely well in this airplane. extremely well. The only time I disengage it, besides turning it off, is when the airplane's getting ready to make a big turn. When it gets ready to make a big turn, I'll disengage it just to make sure nothing goes wrong. But yeah, Pmdg did a superb job with this fast forward feature. I don't really have anything negative to say about this airplane. I mean, I think pretty much everything about this airplane is phenomenal. I just wish that we had a tablet. Is one thing, and I wish that like the baggage trucks, when they're loading cargo and baggage, I wish there would be some little dots on there just to make it look like there's some baggage. Now, I never really change my view when I'm doing this fast forward feature. I just kind of stay here. I don't know if doing an outside view or moving around the airplane, if that will affect anything negatively, so I usually just stay right here. Not really sure what kind of flight I'm going to do later today. I got so many planes to choose from now. I really want to do one of those the Cirrus SR-22s. That's a really cool flight. I may do another ATR. May do a Bay 146 again. Might do an A310. I don't know. I might do another Cessna video. That Cessna flight last night was cool as shit. I might do the other Cessna, the CJ4. That one is really cool too. It's not as high tech on the inside as the one I did last night, but it's a phenomenal plane to fly. It's got the FMC in that CJ4 has many cool features in it. I was really surprised with the depth of functionality that FMC actually had. I was really surprised a couple of weeks ago when I flew that plane to into South Korea. I think we flew from Hiroshima to the Incheon airport, the big airport in South Korea. All right. So far, so good. Oh, we're getting ready to turn this off. When we get to about 15 miles out of FOD, I'm going to turn this off because we're getting ready to make a big turn. I'm sure this plane would be okay, but I don't want to risk it. So I have this set in the settings. I have this to be 8 times normal speed. It will go all the way up to 16, but I've heard that there are issues with the simulator when you do 16x. So, all right, let's get this down to 10 miles. All right, you saw it flashed red. Now the time is white again, which means we are in regular time. Turn my mouse off. What part of the country are we over right now, actually? Let's see here. We're getting ready to cross FOD. Let's go to world map. So that's Webster City. Is that Sioux Falls? Is that Iowa, actually? Yep, Iowa. So we're over Iowa right now. So we are really close to Sioux Falls. Okay, so that's Fort Dodge. And FOD is... Yep, Fort Dodge. That's what we're getting ready to cross over. We just crossed over Fort Dodge. Right, what do we got? 135 to the top of descent. Guess we could speed up a little bit, right? There's no harm in that. Let's turn the mouse back on. Let's click on the very top of this button here. We'll get down to like 30 miles from the top of descent. Or unless there's another big turn, but it doesn't look like there's any more big turns until we're well into the, like halfway through our standard terminal arrival. All right, Myers is right there. That's the beginning of that's our transition waypoint to transition into the arrival. And once we begin once I turn this off actually and get back full speed, like regular speed, I'm gonna adjust the RNP for real, I think it should be 0.3 is what most RNAV landings are unless it specifically states on the chart. So I think that is kind of like the threshold of error, like the maximum allowed, like kind of like boundaries of, you know, the threshold of error that it'll allow you to have. I don't really know if I'm explaining it correct, but AMP is actual, RNP is real. So the RNP usually states what it's supposed to be on the chart, but I didn't see it listed there, so I'm just going to do 0.3, which is typically what it is. So I think that's the margin of error that you're allowed to have with an RNAV type landing, from your actual height to where you should be. I think that's what it stands for. Don't hold me to it. Not 100% sure. I just know that it needs to be changed. All right, so we're in real time again. Let's go ahead and click on legs. And let's type in 0.3. All right. And let's click on range here. And what we're gonna do now is, so we're in map mode here. When you're in map mode, you can click on this center button twice, and it brings up this display here to show you, you know, your height versus where you should be for that particular waypoint. It's just a different way of showing it. It shows it on here as well, but it shows it as a green arc. All right, so let's dial this down to 33.6. That's where we need to be by Benner. The reason I do the steps with the altitude is because it'll show you on the display here where you're gonna, where the system thinks you're gonna be at that altitude, if that makes sense. It'd be easier to show you when we actually start our descent. So once we begin our descent, I'm gonna click on this button here, and that should eliminate this zone of altitude and give us an altitude that the system thinks we're gonna be at for that particular waypoint. Yeah, we're still flying over Iowa right now. We're going to begin our descent here any moment. There we go. Engines are slowing down. You can see now we have this here for our V path. And it looks like we're going to be a little bit over that, possibly a little bit over that altitude by the time we get to Benner. You can see it shows up here as well. So let's dial this to 28.5. We're going to be continually changing this altitude all the way down. We're going to wind up doing a speed intervention as well at some point to get control of the actual speed. Now let's click on this here. I'm sorry, wrong thing. Let me clear this out. We got to hit delete and then come up here. So it thinks we're going to be at 22.9. As we get a little closer, we'll do the same thing here as well. Let's lower this down a little bit. All right, let's put this down to 22.9. I don't know what river that is. I see it on this map here I'm looking at, but it doesn't say what river that is. I don't think that's the Mississippi, actually. No, it feeds into the Mississippi, though. But no, it's not the Mississippi River. We're getting ready to cross J-Bags. So J-Bags is, are we in Illinois yet? Nope, we're in Wisconsin right now. We are flying over Wisconsin right now. remember you. Hell yeah, I remember you. What's up, B? I think you were telling me last night you guys are getting some 220s here pretty soon. I've flown on one British Airways flight before. Well, actually two, over to England and back, but I had to fly to Germany, and we left from BWI to Heathrow, and then we took a Lufthansa plane. I don't remember what type of plane it was. British Airways, man, that flight, they really took care of us on that flight. This is probably about 14 years ago now. When we got on that plane, they gave us slippers, they gave us like a mask over our eyes, they gave us a blanket, they gave us a toothbrush. All right, let's see here. Let's click delete. All right, B-Hawk. Well, we're really, really close to. Let's go to this page here so we can see our vertical deviation. All right, that's 18.9. Holding good. We're a little high for where we should be, but it's pretty close. It's not enough for me to panic or, you know, adjust the speed brake yet. We're only 28 feet difference. Let's turn on these fuel tanks here and turn on the cross feed, because there's a little, I don't know if we're going to get an imbalance shortly because of the difference in the fuel there. All right, might as well type in. So it looks like this time we're going to be good. CUUPP is getting ready to pull up. So let's now that we can see it on our display here, let's plug in the altitude 15,768. So 15.7. Whoa, man. The barometric pressure is 30.45. Good lord. Now, when we cross over to Chapman, we're going to be crossing pretty much right over Rockford, Illinois. All right, let's delete this and get the real altitude that the plane thinks we're going to be at. What? What the fuck? Hang on, let me pause this. What the hell just happened? Alright, we should be paused right now. Why is it giving us that altitude? Alright, at cup we should be at thank goodness for the live pause. Okay, so at Clausby we should be at, say, 13,000 feet. So let's type in 13,000. That's at Clausby. Steinel is 21,000 to 17,000. Okay, let's release the pause and see what happens. That was really weird that it just went up to all those like super high. I've never seen it do that before, where it just throws in all those extremely high. Oh yeah, we're quite a bit high. Let's plug in some spoilers. So we can bring this more in line with where we should be. Fayette is 11,000 at 250. Maybe that's why it wouldn't allow us to do it before. All right, we need to type in 11,000 here, because this needs to be right at 11,000 feet. But it needs to be at 250 knots. So all right, I see you, barometric pressure. We'll get to you in a second. All right, let's release the parking brake. I mean let's arm the spoilers. That's good. Let me get the barometric pressure out again. Let's get the mouse open. So it's 3045. So let's go over here. And let's dial in 3045. All right, and now since we're a bit higher again, let's put the spoilers on again. let's plug in 11,000 feet. Our next constraint, well, actually that's our last real actual constraint on the arrival. Now let's bring up the landing. Okay, let's release here, and we actually need to set, let me set the VOR, the VOR station for Chicago. That is, again, that's 108.25. We got 10825. Let's make this one active. 10825 over here. Let's make that active there, and the force is, I want to say 274. 273. All right, so let's do that over here. All right, that's good. All right, let's plug in 8,500. All right, so far so good. And we need to be at 250. Let's see if it actually slows down. Yep, there it goes. So let's go ahead and turn on the spoilers to help us get down to 250. Let's turn this back off again. Let's arm the speed brakes. And one thing we haven't done yet is set up our approach. Let's do that. All right, that's good. Go back to progress and go back to this page here. I like this page for our nav landings. We're probably going to get a warning light popping up soon because of our fuel tank. Yep, there it is right there actually. So let's turn off these center fuel tanks. And we are actually right on point with where we need to be. Our landing is looking good. let's type in, we got Maddie, Solu, let's type in 77. And I'm gonna match this also with our final approach, which is 273. You know, let me turn something on now that I'm using this plane tonight. I deactivated one of the things from the data to try to, hang on, let me turn on this photogrammetry again since we're flying into a big city. I turned it off last night because I was thinking that might help with the choppiness of the that Cessna longitude we were flying last night. I mean, when we were on the ground last night, it was like it was terrible. It would like let you go. It would go for about 5 seconds, then it would freeze, and then go, and then freeze, and then. Man, I'm thirsty as a motherfucker this morning. Jesus. All right, let's do 67. Let's go ahead and fix this as well. We can put on our logo lights again. We can do all these. Might as well. Well, we can wait a little bit for landing lights. Let's check our speeds out. 139. Yeah, I think we're okay. Go. And bash. Yeah, I think we're okay. Actually, let's do 210 for go. Oh no. You know, let me do speed intervention because I don't want to go too fast through here. So let's do speed intervention. Let's slow down to like 230. We should be pulling up on the city of Chicago here pretty soon. Is that Couric right there? Yeah, I mean, we should be pulling up on it pretty freaking soon. All right, let's put this down to 4,000. The METAR is still 3045. That's a crazy amount of pressure. All right, let's actually add a little bit of flaps to help keep our speed down. So we'll do flaps 5. There's our airport right there. All right, let's put you down to 220. I guess we can put our lights on right now. Let's see here. Landing lights. Now, I have no idea if this is the actual landing that this plane is doing today. I didn't, a lot of times I'll wait for the plane to land in real life and then try to mimic the exact same thing, with this, but I didn't wait this morning. I just saw it. I was like, ooh, it's still dark in Denver. Let's go ahead and, because I really like the way the planes light up at night in the inside. I like all the lights and all that, so that's kind of why I wanted to do it at nighttime. And I like the way the airport lights up at night too. I like all the blue and green lights on the ground and the runway lights and how everything is lit up. It's pretty cool looking. There's our airport right there. City of Chicago is down, kind of like right above the tip of my nose, kind of like right down there. All right, we're actually gonna let's do this here. So I don't think the plane's gonna be able to make that turn. So let's put this at 4,000. Let's click on heading mode. And then what I'm actually going to do is when we make this turn, I'm going to click on approach mode as well and see if it'll pick up that VOR and put us in that FAC mode and glide path mode. See if that works. We're almost at the deceleration point. All right, we never set our minimums, so let's set that, our decision height. All right, it's already defaulted for 200, that's good. All right, let's put this down at 210. All right, we'll go out a little bit farther and then we'll make our big U-turn. All right, so let's go like a minute out. We'll go a minute out and then we'll make our U-turn. I wanted to do about 3 miles past E-bends when, remember, I was trying to plug in that new waypoint. By the way, I promised you that works for ILS landings. I have no reason why it doesn't do it. Well, I didn't do it today, but it'll do it for ILS landings for sure. I've done it, and I've watched the video of the pilot in real life that did it in the simulator as well with this airplane. So, all right, let's start making our turn. Let's click approach, and let's start making our turn. And you can see FAC has just showed up, and so did glide path. Those are both good things. All right, FAC has showed up. I believe that has horizontal control of the plane. Let's click approach on here. But you can see it's got a little dot just like, you know, a diamond, just like glide scope. So all right, let's put more flaps down. Let's put this bitch down to 500. Hey, Gav. When I'm done this, I gotta run and pick something up for her. And I'm gonna go to Duncan, I think. You wanna go with me? Maybe. Okay, that's it. I'll be done in a few minutes. Can you close that again? Thanks. All right. We are doing good. We're 13 miles out. Speed is good. We're on the right course. All right, that glide scope needle is starting to come in now. And that, I mean, not glide scope needle, the dot, the diamond here. I don't believe it'll allow us to do A and B. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. All right, so now we have glide path mode and FAC, which is very similar. Yep, okay, we'll put the landing gear down so you can stop beeping. I don't know if this will take us all the way down to the runway. I've never tried to land a plane in this mode before where it's doing it automatically like this. I've only done RNAV landings where you continually decrease the altitude and do all that yourself. I've never done it like this, so let's keep an eye on things. You can see that because we plugged in the altitude and the length of the runway, that reticle is right dead smack on the touchdown zone. A little less than 5 miles out. Let's see how low you're going to take us, autopilot. I would think the plane in real life flew the RNAV landing, because I think they really only do the ILS landings when it's really bad visibility. I'm waiting to hit that autopilot button to disengage it. I don't know if this thing's going to take us all the way down or not. We will see.
Sync rate.
All right, a little late with the touchdown, but I'm thinking because we adjusted the barometric pressure that whoa, what the hell happened? Did you see that? We just hit a wall in the middle of the runway. Whoa, that was wild. Did you see that? What the hell was that? I'm thinking it didn't touch down at the touchdown zone because we adjusted the barometer, but it should take that stuff into consideration because we're flying in with real world weather and time and all that. It should take all that into consideration, but I'm thinking that's why we were like a couple hundred feet above the touchdown zone. That was wild, man. Did you see that plane hit that wall? It was an invisible wall that motherfucker hit. That was crazy. All right, that's it. I gotta run a couple of errands, and I want to get some breakfast. It's I don't know what the hell time it is. Close to 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something like that. Anyways, I will see y'all later today, probably this evening, and that's about it. Please do me the do and hit them buttons on YouTube's that help me out, and we will see each other again, my friends, later tonight over the skies of Mother Earth. Be good to yourself, be good to other people, and certainly be good to me. See ya.